law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernard Owusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernard Owusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law.
You're welcome to today's program, Hanging Out with BWF Solicitors. I hope you put everything in order for the Christmas festivities. And I believe that you are also taking the necessary precautions as regards to the Omicron, variant, which, it's a very serious viral infection. Same as COVID. So please, if you're out there shopping, still doing your shopping, observe the protocols of covering your nose and mouth with your face masks, and also keeping your social distances when you're out and about. Right. Welcome, and thank you for joining us in the show. If you've not shared to all your contact loved ones, please do so, because I believe that someone will benefit from what is going to be discussed today. And as you know, BWF Solicitors is one of the top solicitor firms in the UK, specializing in immigration and nationality, Ghana law and practice, family law, and dispute resolution. Today's topic is, can a child be British if he or she is not the child of my husband who is settled? Now, when I, put on social media and what we're going to discuss today, I had a few people asking me questions, wondering, asking me what qualifies a child to be British under the British Nationality Act 1981. I've also had a quite number of people also asking who is the child's father by virtue of British Nationality Act. Lawyer Eunice, my learned solicitor and partner of BWS Solicitors, will be giving you all those answers on today's program. If you want to contribute to this program, you can do so on all our social media handles, especially Facebook. Send in your questions. Lawyer Eunice is very happy to take on those questions and answer them. As I always say, it's free consultation. If you prefer to call us live in the studio, you can also do so on 0744 711. The number again is 0744 711. And I'm your usual host, Vicky Newton, who will be taking you through today's show. So, Lawyer Eunice, you're welcome to hanging out with BWS solicitors. How are you doing?
I am fine, very well, thank you, Vicky. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Getting ready for the Christmas holidays. It hasn't been easy,
Yes.
so putting things together. But I think this Christmas I'm gonna have a quiet one because I
Oh,
wasn't too sure whether Boris Johnson was going to put new measures in place,
in
maybe
place, yes.
probably a lockdown. So I really wasn't too keen.
Yes.
So as I said, it's going to be a very quiet one for me, I should say.
And it's
How about you?
exactly a week to Christmas today. So if you
Yes.
ask me, have I done all my Christmas shopping? It's a no. And
Hmm.
I'm going to be one of those people who does the last minute shopping. I'm getting this, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
I have to do this and I have to do that. I think I'm definitely one of those people who does the last minute shopping just
Hmm.
before Christmas Day.
Is it
So
true
I'll be
those of you
struggling.
who do the last minute shopping get the better bargains, or you get carried away and go over the budget? Which one is which?
Well, I think they do offer a good bargain because of the
Hmm.
fact that they know everybody will want to have a nice Christmas. And then after Christmas, you don't really want to be buying all those turkeys and ducks and everything else. So you want people to buy it before Christmas. So whatever it is to get people in to buy it before Christmas, you will do it as
Hmm.
a,
Hmm.
what do you
Hmm.
call it, a retailer. So
Hmm.
of course,
Hmm.
there's always a good bargain when you go last minute,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
not the best because if you go and you don't see what you like, then you're disappointed. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know, maybe I might do lamb this year. I'm not sure about
Oh, really?
yes. So maybe it will be lamb. I'm feeling like
I'm
lamb.
really split. I was thinking of lamb and the kids turkey. So honestly, I don't know.
Well, my kids don't have a choice. So whatever mommy says, go. Otherwise, I'll
Wow,
have to
wow,
do
wow, wow, wow. But it is understandable, you planning to do your shopping at the last minute, because I know with solicitors, getting to Christmas, there's a lot of things to be, put together, put
Yeah,
applications in before, the year ends. So it's very, very hectic. So it's
yeah.
very understandable, especially with solicitors. I know the phones are going to non-stop be ringing till probably the 30th of December. Even after the Christmas holidays, people are expecting to come in
Right.
and put in applications.
Yeah. And then of course
Wow.
with the home office as well, they usually take a Christmas break. So
Yeah,
most people who
yeah,
have put in
yeah.
applications are expecting that there'll be some form of decision before
Mm, mm,
we go into the Christmas break. And so of
mm.
course, a lot of caseworkers at the home office as well will be making sure that things that need to be tidied up
Add
and
it up. Yeah.
decisions that need to
Mm,
be made will be done before they take their break from the uh, Friday that is coming. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
24th
yeah,
is Friday, and
yeah.
of course Christmas Eve. Everybody wants to leave work early. Nobody wants to be at
Yeah, right.
home. I mean, at work, still working. So
Mm,
of course,
mm, mm.
let's try and see how best we can push and then end the year on a good note as well. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, like Eunice, I know you had a very busy week as always, but I know this past week, I mean, you've been extremely busy. Any updates for us quickly before we, go into today's discussion?
Okay. So in terms of this week's update, So, as usual, with our EU nationals and their family members, I
Mm.
will keep saying this until people um, are aware and people know that it is over for those who are in the EU and would like to come and live and reside in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any family members who are EU nationals, Italians, French, from Belgium, from Spain, wherever they are from, please, if they are thinking about coming to live and reside in the UK, it is no longer possible to do so unless they apply for a visa. And
Okay.
so free movement has ended. And for the UK, it ended as of the 31st of December, 11 p.m. So if you arrived after 11 p.m. on the 31st of December 2020, you would have to show that you have a right to obviously live and work here by showing that you've applied for a visa to come and live in the UK. And so anybody who came in obviously after that date would need to apply for a work visa, a student visa, or some sort of visa that will allow them to reside here in the UK.
Mm.
And so, of course, if you came before the 31st of December and you have evidence that you were here because your stamp in your passport shows that you arrived in the UK maybe 30th of December, then of course that will show that you have evidence that you arrived here before the 31st of December, 11 p.m. And so if you are somebody who arrived before that date, you are eligible to apply under the EU settlement scheme. If you applied after the 31st or you came into the UK after the 31st of December, then you are not eligible to apply under the EU settlement scheme because they will need evidence that you were here before the 31st of December
Right.
2020. And then, of course, for those of us who have made um, any form of applications for visit visas and are expecting that we will get a response as soon as possible. Unfortunately, due to the volume of cases that the Home Office has to deal with, the usual standard period of service for such applications will be 3 weeks. If
Okay.
you were making an entry clearance application for a spouse or an EU family member or a child, all those applications usually would take about 12 weeks to obviously make a decision. But because of the volume of workload that they have, unfortunately, a visit application cannot be made in the 3 week standard time. And then entry clearance applications cannot be made in the 12-week standard time that they said they would make them. And so you have to allow for an extra period for which the decision will be made. And so
Okay.
yes, I know some people may be anxious to go to the visa centers in their countries to make sure that they've received a decision or their passport has arrived, but
Yes.
please don't be so hasty. They are trying to make sure that they make decisions as soon and promptly as possible. But if you do not receive your passport before the end of the year, please
Yeah.
don't be so anxious because they are still at work, but they are dealing with cases as and when they are able to deal with them. And so please don't be anxious and know that they will send you an email as soon as your passport is
Yeah.
ready or as soon as a decision has
Mm.
been made. And then lastly, for us, those of us who are living in the UK, if for one reason or the other you still have not found any means of applying for stay here in the UK and
Yeah.
you are using the facilities of the NHS, and so most of us know that the NHS is free. So
Yeah.
it's free healthcare, and therefore we do not pay for it when we use the services of the NHS.
Yeah.
If you obviously go for prescribed medication, you will have to pay for that as and when the need arises. But for those of us who are under the age of 18 or over the age of 60, with these medications,
Mhm.
usually you'll be giving them free on the NHS, and so you know that you don't have to pay for it. But for
Okay.
most immigrants, this is not a free healthcare system because, of course, in 2014 we had the Immigration Act, which was implemented to say that, well, of course, if you are living here as an illegal immigrant, you will be charged the normal, or should I say, healthcare charge because of the fact that you are using a
Yeah.
healthcare service which you are not allowed to. And that is when the immigration health surcharge also came into play. And so, for those people who are still living in the UK without any immigration status, this is one of the requirements that you have as a person who is using the healthcare system. And if for any reason you have a child, or you need some form of treatment, or you need some form of, should I say, healthcare being provided by the NHS, you will
Mm.
be charged a rate which is, they say, is 150% more than they would charge a normal
Mm.
citizen or a normal person who has immigration status in the UK. And so, can you imagine using the NHS to deliver a baby, and they tell you this is your bill,
Your
and the
bill.
bill is over £3,000, and you're thinking, how am I going to pay this if I'm not working and I don't have any means of receiving an income? And so, a lot of the time, this is something that is on the burden, as a burden on people who have used the NHS and then have to pay for the services. And one thing that I know for sure is, for most people who then have the uh, capability to make an application to remain in the UK,
Mm.
when their applications are being put in, they do check. They want to know if you are owing the NHS, if you have
Right.
debts and whatsoever. And especially
Mm.
for those that are making applications as family members, they look to see if you have a debt of more than £500. And so, thank goodness that even for those that have a debt of more than £500, their applications are not refused because they
Mm.
have made steps to
To pay the
repay
bill. Okay.
the money. And so, it's important that we do try as much as possible to take steps to have the money repaid. And so, if it's a friend that you know that can help you repay the debt, then maybe every month or so, let them put £10 towards that debt that you owe, so that when
Mm.
it's time for you to make your application, they don't refuse it just because you have a debt of more than £500 to the NHS. It's
Mm.
important that we also know that these things can also affect any form of applications that we make in the
But
future.
Eunice, years ago we didn't have this problem. But is it
Mm.
just to curb the health tourism? Because we have people who come in, have their children, and that's it.
And then they just
No.
leave. And I think it's also to do with the fact that the NHS is also under a lot of pressure.
Yes,
And
yes,
because it's a free healthcare system,
exactly.
they obviously need a lot of money to be able to provide the services that we use.
We
And
use.
so, some of us, we may not have used the NHS for years. And for some of us, we use it when we are seriously ill, or when we're
Yeah.
going to have a baby, or
Mm.
when a family member is not so well. And so, of course, because the NHS is under a lot of strain, and they say Christmas time and New Year is the worst because that's when the A&E gets flooded. Basically, you have
Mm.
a lot of people who are drunk and are misusing the NHS during this period of time. And so, especially during this time, they are just flooded with so many patients that
Mm.
it
Mm.
is about time that they also put in the money to be able to sustain our healthcare system. And so they are saying, well, if you are somebody who is not paying taxes, then there's obviously that slight shortfall in the budget that we have for the NHS. And therefore, we
Exactly.
need you to pay for the services that we give to you because you are not, should I say, a law-abiding citizen, and therefore you need to pay for the services somehow.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. Wow, wow, wow. Good advice. Laura Eunice, so for today's topic,
Mm.
um, I don't know, but I think in the past I've heard so many stories of uh, people wanting to regularize their children's nationality,
Yes.
and husbands nowhere to be found.
Mm.
So how were they going to go about, their children's nationality?
I think. Yeah.
So I was very excited when I saw, because it's a very common thing that happens.
Mm. Mm.
And there were people who also, might have a child, but the partner is not the father of that child.
Yes.
So people get a bit confused how to go about it. Is it when you are the biological father of the child that you can, you know, um, put in the child's application for nationality?
Mm.
When this you told me about this topic, I had few discussions about people on my platform. So
Mm.
I think you will go ahead first and tell us a little bit about this topic,
Yes.
and we will just continue, the discussion with the few questions that has been brought forward to my attention by Eunice.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so in regards to today's topic, as you narrated, there are people that fall into this category.
Mm.
And of course, it makes it very difficult when you are somebody who has had a child and your husband maybe is no longer in the picture, and you're
Yeah.
finding it difficult to um, make the application for this child, because
Mm.
you definitely need his consent to be able to make the application for the child. And if, for instance, you haven't got his signature, or you haven't got his passport
Yeah.
details to be able to make the application. And a
That's
lot of the applications that we make, for instance, if you are making a passport application, you have to be able to provide original documents.
Yeah.
They don't want copies, they want the original. And they will tell you we do not accept photocopies for some reason. So when that happens, you're thinking, so then what do I do? How do I then go about this? And you have the scenarios where, for instance, you've had the child with somebody else and it's not your husband, and how do you make amends with the child? And so it was a good thing when Parliament decided to sit down and say to themselves that, do you know what, let's just um, make some form of provision, because we've realized that a lot of the time um, there will be children that will be born out of wedlock because of one thing or the other, and it's no fault of theirs. Yes, the parents have done what they did, but it shouldn't be the fact that because of what the parents did, the child should have
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
also
Yes.
suffer in that instance. So it was great news when parliamentarians then implemented Section 59A of the British Nationality Act, to obviously prevent children from being known as bastard children, if I can
Yeah.
put it in that term. So children who are born out of wedlock
Wedlock.
will then have that provision or that opportunity to be registered as British if, whilst they were still, should I say, young and had been born, their mother was married to someone who was either British or settled here in the UK. And
Okay.
so it's important that we understand that it was to prevent such instances for children who would then have to apply for citizenship, and then they would say, oh yes, my mom is this and that, and maybe my mom is no longer married, but she also was married at this point in time. She hasn't really got any settlement or citizenship, but
Mm.
I know that she was married to so and so, and he was my father. He might not be the father, but because the child knows that the mother was married to that person, that child understands that person to be her father, and the father has obviously left home or whatever it is. So
Mm.
it's important that we understand that the whole intention of Parliament was to prevent these children from having to suffer for the consequences of what their parents had done. And so it's great news that as of I think it was 2017 that the law came into force. And so, of course, that helped a lot of children who were in that predicament to be able to then apply for citizenship and then, of course, go on to um, have their passports and do as they would, as normal British citizens would do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, as you said, what really qualifies a child to be British under the British Nationality Act 1981?
So when you look specifically at our British Nationality Act, there are a few instances where somebody will be able to register their child or apply for British passport for their child. When you look at Section 1.1, for instance, it says that if a parent is settled or has British citizenship and they happen to have a child,
Mm.
then of course that child will be automatically British because of the
Right.
fact that
Right.
their parent was settled or was British at the time of their
Mm.
birth.
Mm.
If, for instance, whilst the child is still a minor, they give birth and then they obviously had their indefinite leave to remain, or they had their indefinite leave to remain and they also want to apply for British citizenship, then they can register the child because, of course, they had given birth to the child before they were granted indefinite leave to remain. So
Okay.
they can register the child to be British because of the fact that they also have settlements in the UK. And then there are instances where you will also say that you've had your child, you don't have settlements, and of course, as a parent, you want the best for your child. And in the UK, you cannot have a child and say that your child is automatically British because you gave birth to that child in the UK. I know that the system is the same in a country like America, where
Mm.
people would go and then have their child, and then because of the fact that they've had their child in America, that child is also
Yeah.
um, a US citizen.
Citizen.
But we don't have that here in the UK. I mean, before this act came into force, it was the case that you would have your child here in the UK and that child will be British. But when the act came into force in 1983, anybody who had their child here in the UK could not rely on that to say that their child was British. And
Mm.
so, of course, if your child is born here in the UK, they have to show that they have lived here for the first 10 years of their life before they can then register to be British. And so you have that provision available as well to children who are born here in the UK. And then for those that are not born in the UK, of course, if you have a child who was not born in the UK and you as a parent already had settlement or you already had British citizenship, and
Mm.
of course, you have to show that you had naturalized or you had British citizenship at the time that the child was given birth to. So if you can show that, of course, you were British by the time the child was born, then that child can also apply for British citizenship. So
Citizenship.
that is automatic as well.
Mm.
So they will be given a British passport as long as you can also show that you were British at the time of their birth. And then you have those that are also children who were born outside the UK. You may or may not have had your British citizenship. You've settled, you've brought the child over, and you're all now living here in the UK, if the child is still a minor, so if we're saying that the child is under 18, then it is up to the discretion of the Secretary of State to register this child as British if they are able to show that they obviously haven't committed any offenses, and there are certain other factors that they look at in terms of their family life and the fact that maybe their family is also settled here in the UK. They may have siblings that are British. They may also have other family members, which are their extended family members who are residing here in the UK as well.
Okay.
They look into the fact that they have formed social ties here in the UK. So they may have friends at school, they are attending school as usual, and they look at all of these other things as well, and the fact that they want to make the UK their home. And so that is up to the discretion of the Secretary of State to then register this child as British. There are other provisions as well, but of course, these are provisions that the British Nationality Act makes available.
Mm.
Most times, people would say, is it automatic that because I'm British, my child is also British?
British.
Then most of the time it depends on when the child was born. If you were British and you are saying that you were settled before the child was born, then yes, once you have a child, that child will also be British. But
Mm.
if you were not settled, if you were not British at the time that the child was born, then the child will have to register to be British. So these are some of the provisions that the British Nationality Act makes available. And obviously, if you are not sure under which category your child comes under,
Mm.
then of
Mm.
course you need legal assistance to be able to make the right application for your child.
Okay. So, Laura Eunice, so who is the child's father by virtue of the British Nationality Act?
Yes, so this is a question in regards to just nationality. So obviously, we made scenarios of people having children out of wedlock,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that clearly, in cases like this, the father will also want to claim that the child is his child. So
Child, yeah.
he will have his name put on the birth cert because that's his child. Um, Obviously this wasn't the case previously, because you are thinking, if I, the mother, know that this child will benefit from the husband that I'm married to and not you, why would I want to put your name on the
On the
child's birth
yes.
cert?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, why would I want to jeopardize my child's future for this person? And a lot of the time, of course, this was the thought that most parents would have had. And it was a good thing when Parliament decided to obviously enact Section 59A of the British Nationality Act. And so it helps that we can now feel at ease that the law is on our side. So when you look specifically at Section 50 and then in brackets 9A of the British Nationality Act, it says that a child's father is the one who is married to the woman at
Okay.
the time of the child's birth. And then
Mhm.
obviously we have those that are born through surrogacy. And so the law makes provision for that as well. And then it also makes provision for those that may have to test for paternity and then prove that they are the child's father. But more specifically, it says that it is the man to whom the woman was married to at the time of the child's birth. So that takes a whole load off most people if they believe that, okay, now I don't have to struggle so much because the law then proves that my child is British. Whereas you have other sections like Section 3.1, where they say your child can be registered as British,
Yeah.
uh, or may be registered as British if they are still a minor, so and so on. And with this, because the law is saying that the child's father is this person,
Mhm.
therefore, if the child's father is somebody who was already settled or somebody who was already British at the time of the child's birth, then of course you know that you can then go on and say that your child is automatically British because his father is Mr. So and so,
Yeah.
whom the mother was married to at the time of his birth. And so, because he was British or because he was settled in the UK,
Yeah.
my child is therefore automatically British. And so that helps um, most mothers who may find themselves in this predicament as well. So it goes a long way to help those mothers to be able to then rely on this to be able to even make further application if they need to as well. Yeah.
Okay, so you can't just have a boyfriend and say he's the father of because he's taking over buying, clothing for the child and, giving money towards the child's upkeep.
So, of course, you will have somebody who is the biological father. And if
Yeah.
the biological father is not the one who the mother was married to,
Mhm.
then, of course, you have that person on the website saying that, yes, I am the child's father.
Okay.
Yes, it may not necessarily be the person that the mother was married to, but he takes care of the child.
Yeah.
He does what he needs to do as a father and is responsible for the child. There's nothing wrong with the biological father playing a role
Mm,
in the child's
mm,
life. But
mm.
for the purposes of the child being British, we're saying that the law is saying we will support the fact that a woman who was married to a man at the time of the child's birth, who was either settled or who was British, could then register the child as automatically British because
Mhm.
we want to prevent the consequences of that child having to suffer just because of maybe some decision that their parents made.
No.
So, just for the purposes of nationality, this child will be British because of the fact that the mother was married. But it doesn't prevent the biological father from
Mm.
playing his role
Okay.
in the child's life. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Okay, so Laura Eunice, how about one of the partners? Maybe there was a misunderstanding and they went their separate ways, but
Mm,
one of them would like to um, apply for the child's naturalization,
mm,
and the other party is refusing as a punishment.
mm,
What do you do? I mean, do you have to go to court? How do you prove that the other party is not prepared, even though he is the father of the child? But due to the circumstances that led to the separation, he
mm,
wants to use it as a punishment, not thinking of the child.
mm.
Have you ever experienced these scenarios, these
Yes,
cases?
of course. I mean, these are some of the things that couples who are at loggerheads with each other would do. And like you said, they're not thinking about the child, they are thinking about themselves. So if you have the biological father of the child saying, well, um, I am settled or I'm British and I'm not going to apply for this child's passport because you as a mother did A, B, and C. It may be the case that they were not married and they are now looking to see how best they can get the child to also become a British
Yeah,
citizen. And in
citizenship.
cases like that, because of course they were not married, there is nothing that keeps the man from doing whatever he likes, basically, because to him, they haven't made any commitment to each other, and he is free to go as he pleases. And if that is the case, then he has to be able to show that, of course, I mean, the mother will have to be able to show that, of course, this child's father was British at the time that we were together, and therefore this child is British. And in most cases, you have to toil to get any form of evidence to show that this child's father was British, whether it's a copy of the child's passport, or you're looking to see if you have some form of consent from this father, because you are basing this child's citizenship on the fact that this father was British or was settled. And as I previously said, as long as you can show that the child's parent was either settled or British at the time of the child's birth, then that child is automatically British. It's just
Okay.
because they were not married. And so you would need that evidence. You will have to provide it one way or the
Or the
other
other.
for them to be sure that, of course, this person's parent was British. And in most cases, it might be that the father obviously naturalized to become British. If the father was British because his parents are also
Also
British,
British.
then of course you may need to make an argument that his parents are British, and so the child's father is automatically British, and therefore your child also is British. And
Right.
so it depends on the kind of evidence that you have to show. Whereas in the scenario that I'm explaining, because the parents were married, it makes it easier to just show that there's a marriage certificate which shows that we were married, and therefore I want to go ahead and
Okay.
have that citizenship given to my child.
Right.
So yes, there is that difference when it comes to married and unmarried parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, it's getting more interesting. This is Hanging Out with BWF Solicitors, and today with me, lawyer Eunice. She is a partner at BWF Solicitors. We are discussing a topic called can my child be British if he or she is not the child of my husband who is settled? Lawyer Eunice is taking us through the process, how you can put in an application. And we are expecting you to send in more questions. People are sending in their questions, but since it's our last show for the year, I'm expecting more questions to come in. If you want to contribute to the program, you can do so on our social media handles, especially Facebook, YouTube, where we are transmitting live. You can do so. And if you prefer to call me live in the studio, that would be great. You can do so on 0744 8619 711. It's 0744 8619 711. You can also WhatsApp me as well. Lioness. Yes. Yeah. I've got she's asking, can I apply for my child to be British? And would this affect the biological father?
Okay. So it depends. If you want to apply for your child to be British,
Mm,
and you're saying that your child's biological father is not the person that you were married to in this instance, and he is obviously somebody who is supporting the child. First of all, I need to find out, is the child's father a British citizen, or is the child's father settled here in the UK?
yeah.
If not, then of course, if you yourself are settled here in the UK, then you can apply for British citizenship for your
Okay.
child.
Right.
If the child's father is not settled, is not British, and you are thinking, how else will I rely on getting my child to be British? Then, of course, as we are looking at who you were married to at the time of the child's birth,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you may be able to rely on the fact that maybe the person that you were married to was either settled or British, and therefore you can go ahead and then apply for a British passport for your child. But
Okay.
if that is not the case, then either you yourself gain settlement or you obtain indefinite leave to remain, and then you can go ahead and register your child to be British. So it depends on what the circumstances of her case
Mhm.
is.
Okay. All right. Yes, and I've got Kwesi. Yes, she said he's asking this question for his sister. Says the sister was married to the husband who has indefinite leave to remain in the UK in Ghana. She arrived in the UK with a spousal visa and unfortunately was separated as things went from bad to worse. She's given birth and the child is not the husband's child. And she says, I've received a letter from the Home Office that my leave will be cancelled in 3 months. What can she do?
So this is a typical marriage situation where she has come on a spousal visa to join her husband here in the UK. And of course, because the spousal visa is on the basis that they are still together, therefore, when she's going to renew it, she will have to show that the relationship is still genuine and subsistent. But if they are separated and if they are not getting along, how then can she show that they are still in a subsisting relationship?
Yeah.
And most of the time, we show this by way of proof of address. So if
Mm,
we are living together, then of course we are still together. Our marriage is still ongoing. But if you don't have any evidence to show that you are living together and that your marriage is still ongoing, then it becomes difficult because then the home office are saying, is your relationship indeed genuine and is it subsisting?
yeah.
So in that case, it becomes as if she hasn't got a place to tend to, because then her stay in the UK will become precarious. She wouldn't have leave, and she obviously needs to be able to live in the UK legally.
Mm,
So if it is a case that she now has a child and it is not the child of her husband, um, of course, we're saying that yes, she has obviously had an affair, but
yeah.
because of the fact that she is still married, then she can go ahead and say that because at the time the child was born, the child's father was Mr. Apner. And because Mr. Apner was somebody who had indefinite leave to remain,
Mhm.
therefore, under Section 1.1, my child is automatically British. And therefore, she can go ahead and apply for a British passport for this child because of the fact that the child's father is the person she was married to at the time of that child's birth. And so, in this case, if she is going to extend her leave because she says her leave is going to be cancelled,
Mm,
then of course she has to rely on the fact that because of the law that is in place, she is applying for uh, leave to remain in the
mm,
United Kingdom
mm.
based on the fact that she is a parent of a child who is British. And because these things are technical, I always say that
Yeah. Sure.
legal assistance, because you will not understand it straightforwardly
Forward. Yeah.
anybody would. And of course, it's important that you don't do it on your own, because sometimes it might
Yes.
be that you go ahead and do it on your own, and then the passport office will start sending you correspondence, and you don't even understand why they are sending you all of this correspondence,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you haven't explained it the way the law is stating it. And so they are also confused as to why
Mm,
you're registering the child
mm,
as
mm, mm.
British. So sometimes it's always best to seek legal advice, and then they can go ahead and make the whole process simpler. So in this person's case, she will definitely need to make an application before her leave is cancelled in the 3 months' time. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay. I think I've got someone, a caller on the line. Let me try and pick this call. Hello? Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Yes,
And you?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Kwame.
Okay.
Calling from Milton Keynes.
All right. How is Milton Keynes?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
All right, good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, now put your question to Lawyer Eunice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Lawyer Eunice. My wife is a EU listener, and I'm also a EU family member.
Okay.
And then I brought my child from Ghana about a few months ago under the EU SS. And this boy is 17 years old, but he completed a senior high school in Ghana, and he qualified for a university. But I want to ask, once he entered, he just entered into the country, is it going to be in terms of I'm applying for a university for him, I'm not going to pay fees. This boy is going to be qualified for a student finance.
Okay.
Because I heard that you have to stay in the country
for 3 years.
Some years before you qualify for a free university. So I want to ask.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you, caller. Stay on, and
Thank
Lawyer
you.
Eunice will answer your question. Yeah.
Okay, Kwame. So, in terms of student finance, they have their own requirements as to who they will provide the student loan to. So, for most people who want student finance loans, they will have their own requirements, and that includes a residence requirement. And so, as part of their residence requirements, they say you should prove that you have been living legally in the UK for the past 3 years. So, if, for instance, I am British and I went to live in, let's say, Spain for 5 years, and I've just come back and I want to go to university, they will tell me, because you have not met the residential requirements, I will not be granted student loan. And that's me being British.
Okay.
You cannot overrun their requirements. If they say they need a residence requirement of at least 3 years for you to be able to be granted that student loan, then it means that you should be able to show that you have resided here for the past 3 years before they would grant you that student loan. And it has to be legal residence, of course. And so if your child came here only a few months ago and this child has settled status, and for instance, you are thinking, I want this child to go to university this year, they will pay international student fee unless you are able to show that you can meet the student finance requirements. They will pay just like an international student coming to study in the UK.
Yeah, but Lawyer Eunice, as the son wanted to go to university, can they take into consideration how long, rather focus on the parents, how long they've stayed in the country, they've been, living in the UK, and to meet the criteria, or single out the son not living in the UK for 3 years? Can't they, take the parents into consideration?
Well, that will be saying, can the law favor this side and not favor that side? I mean, we can't pick and choose how the law is applied. And so,
because they're a family, it's a family unit. And my son wants to go to uni. I've lived in the country for, let's say, 10 years. Can't you consider, because I've lived here for 10 years and my son...
They're not saying that your child cannot go to uni. All they're saying is that your child will not be eligible to get student finance.
For that long.
So if you want your child to go to uni, Yes, of course, he can
Mm,
go to uni,
mm,
but he will
mm.
pay the fees just like any international student.
Okay.
To be able to get a loan to pay for students' tuition fees
Tuition
or to
fees.
get some maintenance grant, then they're saying you have to meet these eligibility requirements. If you cannot meet our
Oh,
eligibility requirements, then we will not
mm,
give you the
mm,
loan.
mm, mm,
Because
mm.
another thing is that you have to recognize that it is a loan and they
It's
want
a
to
loan. It
make
has to be paid
sure,
back.
yes, they want to make sure that once you have this loan given to you, at some point in time, you will be able to make repayments. So
Payments.
if you're not somebody who is living in the UK and you
UK.
are thinking about leaving as soon as you finish with your course, then it means they are obviously going to fall short when it comes to
It's
you
true.
repaying
It's
the
true.
student's loan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, they have these policies in place
Mm.
just to be able to meet other requirements that they would
Okay.
have as well. So
Okay.
unfortunately or fortunately, this is their policy and we just have to stick to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, phew, this lady wants to say, and Emma says, "What if I am now divorced from my ex-husband, but at the time the child was born?" At the time the child was born, the divorce had not been finalized. Will I still be able to apply for British citizenship for my child? I
Okay,
think,
then
yeah.
yeah, of course. I think because like most people will know, if for instance you are applying for divorce in the UK, which is
Mhm.
usually in England and Wales, you would usually have to have the other party acknowledge that they want to go
Acknowledge, yeah.
ahead with the divorce, and then of course um the courts will then agree that your marriage has broken down irretrievably
Yeah.
and will give a certificate of when they will pronounce your decree
Yeah.
nisi. And once you have your decree nisi, you have another period of 6 weeks and 1 day to apply for your
Mm.
decree absolute, which is your divorce certificate.
Okay.
So until you get your divorce certificate, you are still married,
Okay.
because I know people who had decree nisi for over 6 years. They thought that they were divorced because now the court has pronounced that uh,
Oh,
they can
okay.
now get divorced. They thought
Mm.
they were divorced and they were not divorced. And so
Okay.
until you apply for your decree absolute, you are still married. And so, of
Mhm.
course, if you are saying that at the time that you had your child, the marriage was still ongoing or you had not yet finalized your divorce, then
Mm.
the child's father is the person that you were married to when the child was born. So
Okay. Yeah.
yes, it will still apply. So if the child's father is um, Mr. So and so that you were married to and your divorce had still not been finalized, he will be
Okay.
seen as the child's father for
Mm.
the
Mm.
purposes
Mm.
of the child being British. And so,
Oh,
yes, she can still go
oh,
ahead.
right. I've got a question I think is not in relation to applying for um, British nationality for a child.
Mm.
I'll read it anyway. It's from Shilasis Sledge.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Lawyer Eunice. What do I do if I apply for EUSS Akinsonya and want my passport back to do another application 2.5 years parent route? I called, but no help as no option for returning passport.
Passport. Okay, so usually when you make an application to the Home Office
Mm,
and then you are meant to make another application, this is called a variation of your leave.
yeah,
So if, for instance, she made an EUSS what they call a Zambrano application for the derivative right based on the case of Akinsenya, and she's saying that she wants the passport back because she obviously posted a passport and everything to the Home Office in regards to that application. If she wants to make an application for leave to remain based on the fact that she's a parent or she's a spouse, she can still go ahead and make an online application. She doesn't have to request the passport back because the passport is already with the Home Office. So there is no need to request it back. All you'd put on the application is the passport is already with the Home Office, because they will ask, do you have this passport with you? And you have to click on the options that they give on the online application. So if you don't have the passport with you and the passport is already with the Home Office, just take passport already with the Home Office. So it will still allow you to go ahead, put in the details that you need to put in, and then you can submit the application before your leave expires. So yes, she can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, but she's added a follow-on question saying, so if I ask for the passport back without a decision, does that mean application is withdrawn, or will this still be pending for a decision later?
So if, for instance, she makes this application, that means that the application that she made under Zambrano will automatically be cancelled, because you cannot have two applications being decided at the same time. And that's why it's called a variation of leave. So as soon as she submits her application for leave to remain, it automatically cancels the other application that she made.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it will automatically be cancelled. And so they will now focus on her application for 2.5 years.
Okay. All right. So Selassie Sledge, this is Lawyer Eunice's answer to your question. If you need more support, but it looks like it's going to be a complicated one, so I would advise you to get in touch with Lawyer Eunice, and she'll be able to give you the necessary guidance and support you need, to make this application. Lawyer Eunice will leave her details at the end of this show. I've got one last question from Abubakar Siddiq Amin. He says, please, what form should I fill in for the second time Zambrano application? And how can I change to the 5-year route?
Well, it looks like he's asking two different questions in one. So with Zambrano applications, of course, once they give you your first 5 years derivative rights, you have to phone them up to request the form for indefinite leave to remain. So once you've phoned the EU Resolution Center, they would bring you the form, and then you would then have to show that you have lived in the UK continuously for a period of 5 years, having looked after your British child. So if you have done your first 5 years and is going to expire sometime soon, you would then be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain by requesting for the form. So of course, once the form has been requested and the evidence has been provided, they will look to see if you are eligible for indefinite leave to remain, and then grant you settled status under the EU settlement scheme. But then he says, then how can I change to the 5-year route? That is completely different. The 5-year route is based on the immigration rules when it comes to those who are applying for 2.5 years. So usually when you apply for 2.5 years, you are either put on the 10-year route or the 5-year route. So if you are on the 10-year route to settlement, it means that you need to complete 10 years before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. If you are on the 5-year route, then it means that you have to complete 2.5 years 2 times to be able to be put on the to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain after 5 years. So I'm not sure why he's asking how he can change to be on the 5-year route. I'm not sure whether he's somebody who qualifies for Zambrano or he's on the 2.5-year route and he's thinking, I want to be able to switch to the 5-year route. If you want to switch, then it means that you meet the other requirements, such as the maintenance, or you are able to show that you meet maintenance. Your English language test can be shown to meet the level A2 requirement. You have accommodation which is suitable, and of course your maintenance is to show that you can look after yourself and the child, even if they compare it to the income support rates given to parents and children here in the UK. If you can meet those requirements, including the fact that you play an active role in the child's life, then yes, you can switch on to the 5-year route. So I don't know if that helps, but hopefully, if he has any further queries, he shouldn't hesitate to give us
Okay.
a call.
All right. So all too soon, this brings us to the end of this show. I know that you would have loved us to, go on and on and on, but we have to stick to the time. So, Laura Eunice will briefly summarize what we've discussed today, and she'll also leave her details if you need to contact her for more support and guidance how to put in your application. So, Laura Eunice, over to you.
Yes, I know this is our last program for the year until next year.
Yeah.
So, of course, for those of us who have joined the program, I am so grateful to all of you for the support over the year. And I wish you a very Merry Christmas and many, many happy moments and times in the year to come. Of course, our details will be left so that if anybody is looking to have any legal support or assistance given in their legal issues, you can then call us or obviously send us a message and then we'll get back to you. So, as Vicky said, we do not just deal with immigration law, we deal with family law, child arrangement orders, divorce, civil litigation matters, as well as Ghanaian law matters in regards to our customary marriages as well. So if you do need any legal services or support, do not hesitate to contact us. We are situated in London. Our office address is the 4th floor of Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road. And of course, our postcode is N154NP. So N154NP. And our offices are usually open from Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340. So it's 0208 493 7340. And my contact number out of office hours is 075 35813910. So 075 35813910.
Thank you, Lawyer Eunice. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you so much for supporting us, sticking with us, leaving whatever you are doing to join us every Saturday, same time, making this program one of the successful legal education programs in the country and abroad. We've been getting people contacting us from abroad as well. We thank you so much for all your support, and your commitment coming on every Saturday. We are not taking it for granted. We believe that you continue to support us come January 2022 with a different twist. We're going to make it more interesting. I'm not going to give it all away, but watch out for January 2022 hanging out with BWF solicitors. BWF solicitors have a community and law program every Saturday at 4 p.m. And today's topic is meeting the financial requirements as self-employed under the immigration rules. The solicitor or representative from BWF Solicitors is going to be Mr. Charles Asma, and will be hosted by Mr. Riku Frimpong. So tune in today at 4 p.m. It's between 4 to 6 p.m. to listen in. And also, if you have any questions, you can do so on that program live on Facebook. Yes, so wow, Laura Eunice.
Yes.
I wish we could have, extended this program, but we
I
have
know.
to do our last minute Christmas shopping.
I know a lot of people have so
texting
much
and saying, "Oh, Vicky, can't you extend a little bit?" But please, we also need a little bit of time to do our last minute shopping. So please forgive us. But we'll be coming in a bang, in January 2022. So watch out for us. So thank you to the team at BWS Solicitors, Mr. Bernard Owusu, Lawyer Richard, Mr. Charles, oh my goodness,
Patrick.
all of them. Patrick as well. Everyone, please forgive me if I didn't mention your name, but all the team at the BWS Solicitors, for all your commitment, your sacrifice, helping people who have issues with immigration, dispute resolution, family law, what have you. BWF Solicitors has done so much for the community. So we appreciate them as well. Thank you. So, Laura Eunice,
Yes.
we have to say goodbye to our viewers.
I know it's been an interesting program today. So I hope that, like as you said, they will be able to join us next year. So as this program is every Saturday, so I'll just reiterate that the time is 1 p.m. So every Saturday at 1 p.m. But of course, we will not be here next week, but definitely, and God willing, we'll see you all in the new year.
In the new year, yes. So please protect yourselves. We don't want you coming back in January feeling feverish, having flu-like symptoms. Please protect yourself. Yes. So on that note, we love you so much. Take care of yourself, and Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from myself, Laura Eunice, and the team BWF Solicitors. God bless. Bye.
Bye.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernard Owusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernard Owusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law.